hearsay back in the East starting after the first of the year. The time in AEW is over.
Yeah.
The contract, people saying that, it's a lot of shenanigans. Let's just say that. Some people say it was a 3-year contract. Some people say it was a month by month, day by day. Some people said it was an out clause. I don't know anything about that, but I do think it's cool that William Regal was going to be able to go back and continue his work that he was doing in NXT, because I thought William Regal was perfect as general manager in NXT. He was a guy that was able to really control that thing, and he had that authority figure. Feel that you go, I can listen to this guy. I can look at this guy as being, the general, the president, whatnot. So I'm just glad he's going to get a chance to go back and finish his work. I know we got to take a break, but we got to talk about it. You know what I mean? As far as, what do you think about William Regal being back in the WWE as well as the people? It's all about the people, man. It's all about the people. What do they think about William Regal being back in the WWE? Is a good thing? Is a bad thing? Is it indifferent? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Hey, man, just chopping it up, talking a little wrestling. Super chatters. We got any more super chatters?
No super chatters right now, but make sure if you do have anything that you want to comment in on, send it in before the end of the show. We'll definitely address it. We're talking about William Regal. William Regal seemingly done with All Elite Wrestling, according to sources. Yeah, the contract talk is all over the place. It sounds like, to me, Book, he signed a multi-year deal with an out clause after the first year, is what it sounds like, because he signed, I think, in January or around then. And sounds like that's when he's going to be going back to WWE. So he's a smart guy. He wasn't going to he wasn't going to get locked up for multiple years without ever being there, right? I didn't see that happening. I think he's a smart guy, and obviously this is working out to his advantage.
What do you think? What do you think happened? What do you think? What do you think went wrong? You know what? Why am I asking you that question? I should be asking myself that. No, the reason I say that is because I should be asking myself that question. It's because I understand exactly, what William Regal perhaps may have felt. Maybe. And I say that because, a lot of people talk about AEW and people talk about the style of AEW. People talk about the wrestling style, the in-ring, the out of ring antics, the social media, world that they live in as well over there. William Regal ain't none of that. William Regal has never done one dive. I'm serious.
I haven't seen one.
William Regal haven't done anything where he had to throw caution to the wind. Not once. So William Regal being in AEW, watching that, I'm sure he's wondering what the hell is going on and what has happened to the business that he grew up watching as well as being a part of. Now, I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But he had to feel like he was on another damn planet being in that wrestling company.
I probably fully agree with you. I think that also some of the look, you got to think, Regal came to WWE, I want to say in like 98 is when he went over. Okay. So from 98 to 2022, it's a long time, right? It's 20 plus years or more than that. No. Yeah. 20 plus years with one company. You're used to a certain amount of structure. And we know that AEW, by and large, prides themselves on it being kind of somewhat structureless.
Yeah. How many times I've been around Regal since 1993? Okay, into 92, 93. I've been around William Regal. I've never heard this guy swear once. I'm serious. I've never heard him use a curse word ever on television or off television. Him being in that company, can you imagine what he's thinking? What the hell is going on here? Can you imagine?
Yeah, no, I can't imagine. And I'm sure he thought about it too. It's the reason why he wrapped things up the way that he did. And look, shout out to Regal in the way that he's leaving the company, right? Getting some heat on the number one heel in the company on your
See,
way out.
Regal left just like I left TNA on a stretcher.
You broke your coccyx.
I broke my coccyx bone. And it was
And
broke. It was all the way out. I could not move. They had to get an ambulance to get me up out of there. They had to get the paramedics, everything. I left the right way. I left the right way. You know what I mean? Just like Regal.
well, Regal left the right way.
When you leave that way, you know you ain't coming back.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, Regal's home. In all honesty, whenever you saw Regal in AEW, it was a little bit like seeing Hakeem Olajuwon in the Raptors uniform, right at the end of his career. You're like, this just doesn't look right. It just doesn't feel right. And they had a cool thing with the Blackpool Combat Club. Like, I like the idea of it, but honestly, I don't think that the club or the faction really ever achieved what its sole purpose was to go out there and do.
What was the purpose? I don't even know what the purpose was.
I think that for me, you have Bryan Danielson and you have John Moxley and William Regal. To me, that means you try to elevate a newer talent to give them the rub. So they put in Wheeler Yuta, and to me, Wheeler Yuta, it just never translated, and that's no knock to him.
It is a knock.
It's not knock to him. It just didn't translate.
How
is it a knock? He just didn't get the rub.
I don't care what faction it was. What's his name?
Wheeler Yuta.
Exactly. Wasn't going to get a rub. It could have been the Four Horsemen.
Well, I don't think that's fair.
It could have been the NWO.
Well, you don't think he's talent?
Not that he's not talent. Not that he's not a good worker. You know what? Brad Armstrong was one of the best workers that anybody ever seen in this business. Okay?
Son of Bob. Yeah.
Brother to Brian. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Brad could outwork damn near all these suckers, But Brad wasn't a guy that you was gonna put in a faction and he was gonna get over. He wasn't gonna get over because of that. And Wheeler Yuta, what's his name again?
Wheeler Yuta.
Wheeler Yuta. If this guy get over, if he ever get over, it's gonna be because of him. Not going to be because anybody's.
Well, what I mean by that is, don't you sometimes put somebody in a faction to elevate them?
Okay, just say for instance, if you put Mustafa Ali with a faction, you think that's going to elevate him?
I think that with the right faction, yeah, not just any faction. We saw it with what was the name of his group?
See that you don't even remember who they were.
What was the name of them?
I don't even. Retribution.
Retribution.
Exactly my point.
That doesn't work. However, say Mustafa Ali was put in the freaking bloodline.
That ain't gonna work.
I'm just saying, like, that can elevate you.
That's not gonna work. Ain't nobody gonna want him in the bloodline, is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's not here. That's not the point. The point is the idea. I'm saying it didn't work, but my point is you put Wheeler Yuta in the group with hopes that you're raising his stock and profile. That's not what other reason would you have to put him in the group? What are the reason?
How many guys over there in groups?
Everyone has a faction. It feels like
so you don't need a reason why you put a guy in a group over there. You just put him in a group.
But see, I don't think so. I think
you just said it. Everybody's in a group. Yeah. Why are they in a group?
Why are they in a group?
Are they like great factions that we're creating here?
No.
Exactly my point. So why are they in a
that's
group?
my point. My point too, though. My point is saying that it didn't work. It didn't work, but I don't know why else you put him in a group.
My point is, no, that's my point. It didn't work. You said put him in there to give him a rub. I say put him in there. It's not going to help him at all because he doesn't fit in a group like that. Nobody knows. A lot of people, no knock to Wheeler Yuta, but a lot of people don't even know who Wheeler Yuta is.
I agree. And that's my point of why it didn't work.
Putting somebody that don't nobody know in a faction is not going to help that faction at all. It's not going to
help the faction, but it could help the guy. Like with Randy Orton and Batista.
Okay, if
Randy and Batista in Evolution, they were no one.
Let me tell you something. No one. If I got a guy look like Randy coming to be in my faction, I'm gonna welcome him. If I got a guy like Batista, looking like Batista looked back then, come on in. We could
use you.
We're not talking about Wheeler Yuta, okay? Okay. Let's just get that straight.
Okay.
That's the difference.
I think that you're missing my point. I think you're missing my point.
Trust me, I'm not missing the point. What I'm saying is a lot of guys these days, they're not even thinking about if they passed the smell test or not. They just want to take the test. I mean, come on. You know, just because you thought about being a lawyer, don't think you can go past the bar.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of these guys don't pass the bar. I know people are going to take that and look at it however they want. You know what I mean? But that's what I mean about a lot of guys these days, going out there and just say, for instance, the guy that's 160 pounds beating up the guy 350 pounds, a la, what's his name? Who's out right now? Adam Cole versus Keith Lee.
Right.
That's what I mean.
I hear you.
Just because the guy go out and beat Keith Lee on multiple occasions, don't make me believe that he could ever beat Keith Lee in a real competition.
Right.
A wrestling competition, a fight.
Right.
That's what I mean. But these days, these promoters, they don't care if they pass the smell test or not. They just want to see somebody go out there and, play games and take this business and turn it upside down and in and out. That's what they want to do with it. Me personally, I don't buy into that sentiment right there. I just don't. I think guys should still look the part if they're going to be playing the parts. Bottom line.
Yeah, you and I have talked a lot about that airport test kind of thing, and I still fully believe in it. But to go back to the original point is, William Regal in AEW just was always a square peg in a round hole for me, and the fact that he's going back to WWE to be apparently a part of NXT, a group and organization you've come to love in the last few months, makes all the sense in the world. He should have never left.
Yeah,
should have never left. Should have never left.
Well, I'm going to welcome William Regal when he comes back. Okay, I'm going to welcome him back to his old spot, his old job.
So long as it's not the commentating table.
It's not going to happen. A lot of people have been saying that perhaps I should, start lobbying for that GM job. But no, I'm happy where I'm at. And William Regal coming back into the fold. You got to love it, baby. Me and William Regal, the King's Court, back together again. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.